from the front lines of faith and justice. This is Firebird Dispatch.
This week's first dispatch tackled the news swirling around the Epstein files, truth, distortion, and the hunger for justice in a landscape choked by conspiracies. This dispatch is different. We're not looking at a single headline right now. We're stepping back to ask, why are we so susceptible to this kind of story in the first place? Why do conspiracies feel more real to some people than reality itself? This is a dispatch about mindset, about addiction, about the stories that we chase and what they're doing to our souls because we are addicted to the plot twist. Dateline, The American Mindscape. Part 1. When Everything Feels Like an Episode. Somewhere along the way, we started living like we were in a Netflix series. The world feels dramatic, episodic, always on the edge of a twist. Secret villains, elite cabals, hidden truths waiting to be revealed. The algorithms feed us like a streaming service. Every swipe, a new cliffhanger. Every story, a good guy, a bad guy, and you, the hero who, quote, knows what's really going on. But here's the catch. Our souls were not made for that much drama. The prophet Ezekiel once said, "They have eyes to see, but do not see, ears to hear, but do not hear, for they are a rebellious house." When everything feels like an episode, we stop paying attention to real life, to slow truth, to nuance, to presence. Whether we're talking about the presence of other people in our lives, or we're talking about the living presence of the Spirit. And that's not just a cultural problem. It's a spiritual one. No matter what your faith tradition or non-tradition happens to be. Part 2, the Gospel of Suspicion. There's a reason that conspiracies feel religious. They borrow the language of apocalypse, judgment, and salvation. They offer a gospel of suspicion. The world is full of evil. Only a few know the truth. And you, O lucky one, you are one of them. It's seductive. Especially when trust in institutions is broken. Especially when the truth hurts more than the fantasy. But here's the thing. Suspicion is not the same as discernment. Let me say that again. Suspicion is not the same as discernment. Being jaded is not the same as being wise. And knowing, quote, what they don't want you to know is not the same as knowing what matters. Jesus said, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." But truth doesn't set you free if you only use it to confirm your fears. Part 3, detoxing the imagination. If we're going to heal from this, spiritually and culturally, we need to detox our imagination. Not shut it down, not dull it out, but cleanse it, reclaim it, redirect it. Because imagination isn't the problem. The problem is when imagination gets hijacked by fear and hooks our ego into thinking that only we can fix it, only we can understand it. All we have to do is try harder. Which is not surprising in our world where sci-fi and dystopian fantasy are such big sellers, where video games extol violence and numb us to other people's pains. Jesus didn't manipulate emotion. He restored it. Think about the woman caught in adultery dragged before a crowd, her shame exposed, her life literally on the line. The crowd was fired up, man, manipulated by those who wanted to discredit him. They were ready for blood. But Jesus didn't stroke their emotion. He stopped. He stooped down. He wrote in the dirt. He slowed everything down so people had a chance to think and feel. And then he said, "Let the one without sin cast the first stone." That wasn't a manipulation. That was a restoration. Restoration of her dignity, restoration of their conscience, restoration of the moment. He didn't make anyone feel something to control them. He didn't reach out and try and tell them, "You are wrong for feeling this." He made space for them to feel something true, to regain their sense of self within that community. He didn't make people more afraid. He helped them see clearly. He didn't offer a plot twist. He offered presence, to be with them no matter what. The Spirit doesn't come with a hook or a twist ending. The Spirit speaks sometimes in fire and wind and silence and in song. And when the Spirit speaks, it's not always comfortable. So often what we are chasing isn't truth, it's comfort, reassurance that we're okay, the feel-good moment, the spiritual high, the neat ending. But Spirit doesn't soothe for the sake of soothing. It never has. Spirit disrupts, it awakens, and then it walks with us through the fire. It teaches us how to navigate through the chaos. Epilogue. Friends, we don't need another episode. We don't need another villain or another secret. We don't need another time when we can understand, we can work this out. If only we try harder, only we can fix this. We don't need a leader who feels that way either. We don't need to have some complex way to explain what's going on when a simple explanation works. What we do need is a new way of seeing and a new way of being. The sacred doesn't reward paranoia. The sacred rewards presence, being spiritually, emotionally, intellectually awake and aware and present. The sacred rewards intention. What is your intention? To blame? To feel better than someone else? Smarter? Part of the inner circle? Ooh, that's ego to me. That's not spirit. That's how we get hooked. Our ego gets hooked. And ego means it stands for easing God out. When that gets hooked, that's not spirit. So if the world feels too loud or too fast or too unreal, it's not you. It's the system you're living in. The system you choose to be in. Where you choose to anchor your life. And here at Firebird Spirit we say, step out of the algorithm. Return to your soul. Don't echo power. Reveal truth. Live compassion. Keep it simple. Believe in the calm and walk away from the storm. Until next time, This is Firebird Dispatch. Over and out.
You've been watching Firebird Dispatch, rising in love, grounded in justice. Join the movement at #FirebirdSpirit.